What's up? What's up? I think this is lesson 14? Question mark. But it's going to get a little crazy up in here, and I'm excited about that. We're going to take the previous lesson, which we did up here, and we're going to just take it to the next level. We really are going to take it to the next level. And I think the biggest thing that I could kind of stress to you for this lesson is we really want to get that absolute value by itself, right? If there's an equal sign here, we don't want anything in front. We don't want anything after. We want that absolute value by itself. Okay, so let's take some good notes here. Let's kind of work through this together. I'll try and go slower right now so you kids can really be writing this stuff down. If you didn't print out the notes, take a second, press pause, and write down number 10 so we can kind of work through this together. Okay, and then press play when you're ready. And what I want to kind of get through to you right now is that this absolute value is not by itself, right? Remember, anything can be inside and we're still good with that. You can have a bunch of stuff inside your absolute value. Okay, but we've got something else that's on the left side, right? We've got something else that's on the left side. It's that -5. So we want to get that guy over here. So we're going to say +5 and +5, right? We can't split this guy up yet. We can't do that split thing and split it into two equations until the absolute value is by himself. So we added 5 to both sides, and watch what happens here. What happens is we have v plus 8, and that's inside of the absolute value, equals, and what's 2 plus 5? 7. Okay, now you can see that the absolute value is by itself. Nothing else is on the left-hand side, so we can split them up. We can say v plus 8 equals 7, and then we can say v plus 8 equals -7. Remember, when we write it a second time, we make that second one negative. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're good. So I had a question going on there. So then we kind of just attack here. We can subtract 8, subtract 8, subtract 8, subtract 8, right? Because we want to get this v by itself. That's gone, and that's gone. And we have v equals -1, and we have v equals -15. And I think that's right. Okay, hopefully I'm not making any mistakes so far. All right, so that's kind of what we have going on there. Given the same problem, right, down here with number 11, we have the exact same thing going on with 11. So what I want you to do is press pause, attack 11, and when you're done, go ahead and press play. Okay, now, is the absolute value by itself? The answer to that question is no, right? We can have as much inside as we want, but there's something else that's next to this guy. It's this -5 or +5. So we need to go ahead and subtract 5 from both sides and get rid of that. And what we have now is we have the absolute value of 5x equals 40. Okay, now you can see that the absolute value is by itself. Okay, and what we can do at that point is we can split them up. We'd say 5x equals 40, and then we'd say 5x equals -40, right? We make that second equation negative on the right-hand side. Okay, now let's go ahead, divide 5, and you're probably thinking this is easy, right? Hopefully you're thinking it's easy, but it's going to get a little crazier. Now we have x equals 8, and we have x equals -8. Perfect. Now this is where it gets a little crazy. Number 12. Okay, we have a lot going on here. Now I told you earlier when we had something like this, 2x plus 5 equals 10, and this is old school stuff. Okay, we would never divide the two right in the beginning. Anything that's stuck to something else, we save for the end. So we would subtract. We always add or subtract first. And that's what we have over here. Okay, we have this 3 stuck to the absolute value. And we're not going to deal with that yet. We want to get this 8 over there. So let's subtract 8 and subtract 8. Okay, now 80 minus 8 is 72. Now what we can do is we can divide by 3 and divide by 3, and look, that guy's gone. Okay, so we did the 8 first, we subtracted the 8 from both sides first, and then we divided by 3 on both sides, and now what we have is the absolute value of negative 8x equals, I think it's 24. Okay, is the absolute value by itself now? Yes. Okay, we're happy. We had got the absolute value by itself. So we can split them up. We'd say negative 8x equals 24. And we'd say negative 8x equals negative 24. Divide both sides by negative 8. Gone. Divide both sides by negative 8. Gone. And it looks like we have x equals negative 3. And we have x equals 3. Boom. Okay. Crazy. Crazy. I'm going to do 13 because I just need to. And then we can start doing some practice. Okay, because 13's tricky. Like, it really is. And let me show you why. We've got all of our stuff in front now. And it looks a little crazy, but let me kind of show you what's going on. This negative 8 is stuck to the absolute value. It's stuck because it's being multiplied. Okay, that means that we can move this 5 over here. We can subtract 5 because it's positive, and we can subtract 5. Gone. Okay, so what we have is negative 8 stuck to our absolute value equals negative 80. And I said any time something's stuck to something else, right, that's just stuck, it's sticking, there's no like plus or minus or anything in between, we got to divide by that to get rid of them. So that would be our next step. Okay, and you'd have negative 2n inside of your absolute value equals, what is this going to be, 10? Now the absolute value is by itself. He's totally by himself, so we can split him up. Negative 2n equals 10. Negative 2n equals negative 10. Okay, divide negative 2. Gone. Gone. And it looks like we have n equals negative 5. And n equals positive 5. That's as crazy as it can get. As absolutely crazy as it can get. Okay, so I'll give you a second if you need to pause it and copy down some stuff. I'm actually going to clear some room for myself right now for this problem over here on the right. Okay. And, oh man, what just happened there? That was kind of weird. Okay, so now what's going to happen is 14. You kids are on your own for 14. Press pause, attack 14. Okay, then we'll come back and we'll go over it, okay? Okay, let's go over it. The only thing we have going on here is this negative 5 that's stuck to the absolute value. Okay, so we are going to divide negative 5 on both sides. And that's really it. That's the bulk of what we have going on. So we have 3 plus 4k equals, man, what is that? So 23 maybe? I'm thinking 23. I'm not entirely sure. 115 divided by 5. Let me check it on my phone real quick. I know. I'm not prepared. 115 divided by 5. 23. Come on. Should have trusted myself. Goodness gracious. 23. Okay, now the absolute value is by himself. You can see that. So we're going to split them up, one over here, one over here. And we write what's inside, 3 plus 4k, 3 plus 4k. I think we're going to get a fraction on this one, equals 23, not this one. 3 plus 4k equals negative 23. This one I think we're going to get a fraction. Okay, so what do we have to do now? Get the 3 over, subtract 3, and I think that gives me 4k equals 20. And let's subtract 3 over here also. And that's going to give me 4k equals negative 26. Okay, divide 4. Gone. Gone. And I think what we have for this guy is k equals 5. That's this one right here. And then over here we have k equals, I think we can reduce this, right? We can divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. We get negative 13 over 2. So that's actually the first time this year that we've had to reduce a fraction. So if you don't know how to reduce a fraction, you look at your fraction and you say, hey, what number can go into the top and the bottom? It's got to be the same number. And our number was 2, so we divided the top by the 2 and the bottom by 2. And that's what we got for number 14. So little crazier. I totally get it. But it's not too bad. It really isn't. Okay, now we're going to come over here to 15, and 15 just looks different. Right? It looks different. And naturally what happens with kids is they see something that they've never seen before, and they're just like, I don't know what to do. Okay, which is okay. Like, yeah, I don't know what to do is totally fine. But the next response to yourself needs to be like, I got this. Okay, I got this. Like, we have proper training. We want to get this absolute value by itself. And he's not by himself because he's being divided by 8. So we do the opposite and multiply by 8. And watch what happens. That cancels on the left-hand side. And now we just have 7p plus 4 equals 24. And look, the absolute value is by himself now. So we can split them up. 7p plus 4 equals 24. 7p plus 4 equals negative 24. And I can tell you this one's going to be a fraction because I can already see it. Okay, so let's move this guy over here, subtract 4 from both sides, and it looks like we get 7p equals 20. Subtract 4 from both sides here, and we get 7p equals negative 28. Divide 7. Divide 7. And what we get is p equals 20 over 7, which is fine. And we also get p equals, this guy's negative 4. He's clean. 20 over 7 is not clean, but negative 4 is definitely clean. Okay? Looking good, looking good. Let's skip 16. Because we can come back to that kind of thing later. I want you to try 18 on your own. Press pause and do 18 right here. And then we'll come back to it and we'll go over it. We're going to do 2 practice problems right now, and then we'll be done for the lesson. Okay? So first things first, get this 9 over here. Plus 9, plus 9. Okay? Really important. So what's 57 plus 9? 66? Is that what it is? Okay, so this over here on this side, we get 66 now. Okay, the 6 is stuck here. How do I get rid of that? Divide 6, unstuck, right? So it looks like I have absolute value of 1 minus 5x equals 11, okay? And the absolute value now is by itself. We're happy about that. Okay, we got him by himself, so we split them up. We say 1 minus 5x equals 11, and we say 1 minus 5x equals negative 11. I think this one's going to have a fraction. Okay, so we're going to subtract 1 to get rid of that guy. We're going to subtract 1 to get rid of that guy. And it looks like I have negative 5x equals 10. And here it looks like I have negative 5x equals negative 12. Okay, divide 5 on both sides. Actually, divide negative 5 on both sides. Right? Gone. Gone. X equals negative 2. That guy's clean. We like that. The negative 2 isn't. Looks gross. And then we have x equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so we have 12 over 5. Boom. Okay? Easy enough? One more, just for fun. We need to practice, right? Because we have a big quiz, and it's going to be tough. Actually, we might even have a test next week, to be honest. Okay, so let's move this 3 over. We're going to add 3 here, gone. Add 3 here, and get 21. Then we're going to divide 3, gone. And this guy becomes what? 7. Now the absolute value is by himself. We can split them up. So we'll say 3 minus 5r equals 7. That guy is going to be a fraction. And then we have 3 minus 5r equals negative 7. That guy's going to be clean, I think. Okay, so let's subtract 3 from both sides. We have negative 5r equals 4. Subtract 3 from both sides. And we have negative 5r equals negative 10. And watch what we do here. Divide negative 5, divide negative 5. Divide negative 5, divide negative 5. And our answer, it looks like, is r equals negative 4 over 5. Got like a little voice crack thing going on right now. And I've got r equals, this guy's 2. Okay? Boom. That's it. We're going to review on Thursday, and either quiz or big test on Friday. So make sure you just look your stuff over and you're doing what you're supposed to. All right, kiddos.